Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gift. In this video we'll be sewing this dress. In the last video I did the pattern drafting, so if you have not seen that, the link is in the comment section. You can go ahead and watch it before proceeding with this. So I used the pattern to cut out this fabric for the front. I added half an inch seam allowance to the side, as you can see. Then I added 6 inches to the length because I told you guys in the last video that the length of my paper was short. So this is what I have 3 pieces, the center piece and the 2 side piece. So I'm going to turn it like this on it, the right side facing the right side. I'm going to turn one of the side piece on the center piece like this. Then I'm going to pin it and follow the shape and sew it to the end. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. I went ahead to cut the back fabric also with the pattern. I added half an inch to this side, then I added 6 inches to the length of the center piece. So this is what I have. I'm going to remove the paper from it. The center fabric is splitted into two because of the zipper I'll be adding to the back. Then I'm going to join this side of the back to the fabric like this. We have 2 of it, one for each side of the fabric. I'm going to follow the shape and join it together. I'll be using this paper to draft the sleeves. So on the top of the paper I'm going to rule a straight line, which is going to serve as the starting line. Then I'm going to come down by 4.5 inches from that line. I'm going to mark it, then I'm going to rule a straight line across that dot I made. So on this line, I'm going to mark my round armhole measurement divided by 2, which is going to give me 8 inches. So I marked 8 inches there. Then I'm going to mark 4 inches at the top of my line like this. Then I'm going to use my free hand to connect the 4 inches to the 8 inches on the arm sides. That is the other line. So I'll just basically use my free hand to draft the sleeves like this and make it okay. Then I'm going to connect these points to the end of the paper like this. So I'll be making use of just the top of the pattern paper. I just want to show you guys that you just have to cut your normal sleeves before you cut out of it. So from the top of the paper, I'm going to come down by 3 inches. So I'm going to mark the 3 inches and rule a straight line across it. So I would advise you to come down by 4 inches or 3.5 inches so that your sleeves will not end up being too small. Or if you want it bigger, you can make it like 4.5 or 5 inches. It depends on what you want. So I'm going to cut that part out. Now I'm going to slash this paper. So I'm going to be giving 2 inches. I'm going to be giving 1 inch interval, sorry. So I marked 1 inch the first place, the second place 1 inch. I'm going to do that to the end of the paper. Then I'm going to rule straight lines across the dot I marked. So I'm going to split the lines open with my scissors like this. I'm going to open it up towards the end of the paper, but I'm not going to cut out everything. So you cut it in a way you'll be able to spread the pattern on your fabric. So I went ahead to spread this on my fabric. My fabric is folded into 2. I gave 1 inch interval between them. So mine became small. So what I'm going to tell you guys is to add enough allowance to this while cutting it, because I had to change my sleeves to another plain fabric. From the center of the fabric, I'm going to go up by 1 inch like this. Then I'm going to use my chalk to trace the 1 inch towards the center of the paper, towards the end of the paper. So the emphasis on the allowance is towards the end like this. So you make sure maybe you go out by 1 inch from there, add extra 1 inch to this part where this arrow is, so that the sleeves will not be too tight. Mine was okay, but I didn't add enough allowance to that side, so the sleeves became tight. Ensure you add half an inch allowance to the down part of the sleeve, so you'll be able to hem the sleeves, but just make sure you add enough allowance. Then this up part, you can go up by 1.5 inch. It depends on how lifted you want the puff sleeves to be. So I'm going to remove the pattern paper so that you guys can see it. So I'm going to cut another one. So this center is where I'm going to pleat. So then I'm going to hem the down part of the sleeves. So I've gone ahead to join this front piece together. I ironed the seams open so it to be flat and okay. So this is what I have. So for the design in front that looks like a collar, I'm going to place my tape on this part, and then I'm going to measure what I have there. I think I had 7.5 inches or 8 inches there. So I'm going to use this paper to draft it. So I'm just going to cut that same 7 inches because it's not going to be the same length with that part, so I'll be able to turn it without this collar or this design obstructing it. So I marked 3 inches as the length. Then I'm going to rule a straight line across the dot I just marked. So on the 3 inches line, I'm going to go out by half an inch. From the center, I'm going to go out by half an inch like this. Then I'm going to connect it back to the top of the paper in a slanted way. So this design, yours does not have to be 3 inches. You can make it 3.5 inches. It depends on how long you want it to be. But mine was 3 inches. So I'm going to cut the fabric now. It's going to be the same size. When I hem both sides of it is going to reduce, so I'll be able to turn the neckline without it obstructing it. So I went ahead to join the back as well, and I ironed the seam open. So this is the two back. So I followed the shape of the fabric to cut out this facing that I'll be using to turn the neckline. So if you want to use a lining piece, you can go ahead and cut your lining following the shape. You join the lining together just like you join the main piece before using it to turn it. So this is the sleeve. So I told you guys that I changed my sleeve. So I used this Ankara as the bias for the up part. So this is the main fabric. I just hemmed the down part of it. This is what this one is looking like. You can see towards the end of the sleeves is now longer than the previous one. So this is what I have. I'm going to notch the center like this. After notching the center, I'm going to take my tape and measure 4 inches. Then I'm going to notch the 4 inches as well. So I lost the clip of cutting and joining this collar to this part of it. Ensure you hem it round or you use your facing before you attach it. You attach it first before your sleeves. So I just want to show you guys the method I use to pleat it without stress. So I'm using my needle and thread. I've added my thread to the needle. Then I'm going to use it at the top of the fabric like this. I'm going to be turning it like this. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. So from the first notch, that first 4 inches to the other side of the 4 inches, because the notch is reflecting on both sides of the fabric, is where I used my thread from towards the end so I can form this gather. So you can see the way it's looking like now. I've ended up forming my gather, so I'll make sure I stitch it well so it will not remove. So I'm going to use this fabric as the bias. I'm going to sew it to the wrong side of the fabric first, then I'm going to turn it over to the right side to pipe it well to cover the rough edges. So I've done that for this other side. So from the center of the fabric, from this side of the fabric, I came out by 3 inches. So I'm going to start attaching my sleeves from that 3 inches. I'm going to use this clothes. I'm going to use this facing I cut out using the shape of the fabric. I'm going to add the sleeves to the other side as well before turning it. So this is the back. I've gone ahead to turn it with my facing, and I joined the zipper allowance together. So this is what the back is looking like, and this is the front. I've gone ahead to turn it with the facing also. So I'm going to attach my sleeves to the back. I'll ensure I face it in the right way. So I'm going to open the facing and the main piece for the back up a bit where I want to attach my sleeves. Then I'm going to take my sleeves in like this. Then I'm going to stitch it on the other side. Ensure you open it up and stitch your sleeves to it. If you do it this way, you will not end up being confused. You'll be sure that your sleeves is going to turn out right. So I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. After joining the sleeves, I'm going to use my body measurements to close up the sides of the fabric. Ensure you have joined your zipper allowance together before doing this. So if you watched the pattern drafting tutorial, you know where this paper is from. So I went ahead to roll a straight line on this paper. So this is the hip line. If you check the paper well, the hip line is on a straight line. That is the point you will know that this paper is straight. So I followed that hip line as the guideline to cutting it. Then I added half an inch to the top, and you know I added 6 inches to the length of my fabric. So I added 6 inches to it. So my own fabric is not big. You can expand your own the way you want it. If you want it to be really full, then you can spread your fabric on it in order to get it. So I'm going to cut out the excess parts from these main bodies. This is what I have after joining my sleeves. So this is what is looking like. If you really want your gather to be full, you take your tape round this opening and multiply it by 2 or 3, but ensure that you spread the other paper you removed from there on it so that you get the length and the shape. So where my hand is where I want my gather to start from. So I'm going to notch there. So I went ahead to join the fabric from the beginning like this to where I want my gather to start from on this part. So from the other edge of the fabric also, I join to the point where I want the gather to start from. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So let me open it up like this. So I went ahead to open it up straight. Then I joined the fabric to it to the point where I want my gather to stop. From the other edge also to the point where I want the gather to stop. So I stopped there. So I'm going to measure the main fabric to see what I have there. I have 6 inches. So I'm going to gather this fabric I left for the gathers to that 6 inches. So I'm going to use my needle and tape like this to form the gather. So I'm going to do it like this and form the gathers. When I form the gathers, I'll ensure that it will be up to 6 inches, so it will be able to fit into this part. Then I'm going to secure the gathers and stitch that place back to the main fabric. So I'm going to do the same thing for the other side of the fabric. So I hope you guys understand what I'm doing. I'm using my needle and thread to form the gathers. So you just open the side opening straight and open your fabric that you cut out for that side. You open it on it. You ensure you notch where you want your gather to start from. Then you sew the normal part where it's going to be straight. You sew it to it and leave the gathers. Then you gather it. You can use your hand to make your gathers or your machine. So I'm done attaching it to it, and this is what I have. So you'll notice that this part is longer than this other part. So I'm going to take this side like this, then I'm going to fold it on it and trim it to the same level like this. So you have to be careful with this part so that you not mess with the length of your fabric. So you can see this edge is sharp. I'm supposed to cut it in form of a circle, so I'm just going to use my hand and make that place okay. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm saying on the other side of the fabric. So I'm going to take it from this edge towards this side like this. So make sure you don't touch the center piece where you turned over to this part. Is only the bigger side you are going to cut, so you don't mess with the length of this fabric. You have to be careful. So I'm going to cut it like this and cut out the excess part, so you can see is now the same length. So I'm just going to hem it round after this. So ensure you add your zipper to it. So with this, we have come to the end of this tutorial. I hope you guys learned something from this tutorial. Please don't forget to like this tutorial, subscribe to this channel if you're not yet a subscriber, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Leave your questions in the comment section. I'll make sure to answer them. See you guys in my next video. Bye.